I've been shot, I've been stabbed, and I've been firebombed. I became a junkyard dog, smashed him in the face with my fire engine. He was the first man that I ever made bleed. I have the right to defend myself and my family and my business by any means necessary. Yeah, you go too far with me and I'll take your life.
Stephen French is one of the most notorious gangsters in modern British history. He grew up in Liverpool, that grimy working class town in northern England where the Beatles are from. At the height of the cocaine boom in the 1980s, he ran a stick-up crew that hunted down and robbed high-level drug dealers for enormous coke scores. He soon became a kingpin himself, and at his height was worth tens of millions of pounds. So fearsome was his reputation in Liverpool that he earned the nickname The Devil. And for decades, the Devil operated with impunity. He never got arrested, not until years after he was already out of the game. How did he do it? You're about to find out. This is one of the shrewdest, grimiest criminals I've ever spoke to. And for a bonus episode with Stephen, where he confesses to the details of how he finally got caught and what he's doing now, go over to patreon.com/TheConnectShow. Without further ado, The Devil in the Flesh, Stephen French, right here on The Connect with Johnny Mitchell.
We had 500 men working for us. Our turnover was 5 million. Our profit was 20%. It was all about the paper. I was living a very extremely selfish life. The game, as we call it, it's a game of death.
That's when I see the lights behind me start to flash. And I didn't even think, I just hit it. I was driving like my life depended on it. Then I parked the car, hopped out, closed the door, and I started running.
And he pulls out a burner, a shank, it's like 6 inches. And then he passes it to me. And he goes, here, that's yours. Don't ever leave the cell block without this. He was the reason I made it out of that place alive.
You were brought up in a time that was one of the most volatile and racist in modern British history, which I find fascinating because you guys had the problems that America had, but like years later, decades later even. So tell us your background really quick. Where are your parents from?
I'm a byproduct of 2 diasporas. I'm a byproduct of the African diaspora and the Irish diaspora. Yeah. My father is a West Indian from Trinidad. My great-grandfather was a slave. My mother's mother is from County Mayo in Ireland. My white family left Ireland as part of not the Irish potato famine, the Irish potato starvation. The blacks and Irish were forced together in the south end of Liverpool. Yeah, our backs to the River Mersey. Liverpool, the most racist city in Europe with the most racist police force. Not my words. The words of Lord Gifford, the Gifford Report, circa 1989.
Wow.
That was a white paper that was commissioned by the former Conservative Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher after what we call the uprisings. You may know them as the Toxteth riots. I am a Windrush baby. Yeah.
What is the Windrush?
Windrush is the post-war immigration of Caribbean citizens that were British citizens to the United Kingdom. After World War II, yeah, the Russians were low on manpower, the Germans were low on manpower, and the British were low on manpower because they lost millions in that war. Britain was flattened, and Britain needed to be rebuilt. One of the cultural icons for the far right is a guy called Enoch Powell. Enoch Powell spoke about the rivers of blood speech because of the West Indian infiltration into Great Britain. What most people don't know is in 1963, when Enoch Powell was the health minister, it was him that invited the West Indians over to man the newly formed National Health Service, to drive the trains, drive the buses, and rebuild the infrastructure of this country. And the interesting thing was that the new problems now, the new problems with the immigrants, it's about religion, it's about Muslims versus Christians. Absolute tosh. It's always been about colour. And I'll tell you why it's always been about colour. The West Indians were Christians.
Catholics or
Christians?
Okay.
Yeah, all different type of Christians. Catholic Christians, Roman Catholic Christians, Pentecostal Christians, Church of England Christians, or Christians.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Believers in Christ and the Holy Trinity. Yeah, and we face the exact same problem, same discrimination that the Iraqi and Afghani refugees are facing today. It's always been about skin color.
And religion is just the excuse, the veil?
Religion is also a division, right? Because in Ireland, they're the same people and they're divided over religion.
Right.
Yeah, right? So I have a working theory about the ruling elite. There's 1% of people that own all the wealth. Yeah. They hire 4% politicians. Yeah, who then hoodwink 90% of the world that we live in a democracy. And then there's 5% of us that know what's going on. I'm a 5%er.
So your parents grew up in Trinidad. Your mom is...
My mom was born in Liverpool. My mom's an English white lady.
Right.
Yeah, right. My dad left Trinidad. I have asked my dad this quite often. I said to him, why did you leave the West Indies? It was beautiful in the West Indies to come here. And he said, I came looking for white women.
Yes. And it's history repeats itself. The brothers have always been looking for the snow bunnies.
He found one.
We all thought you were going to say work.
He found one. Yeah, in a flaxen-headed redhead, beautiful Irish lady with green eyes. Yeah, who's my mother? She's now 90 years of age.
Wow, God bless her. Yeah. But basically, the context is you are born in the first generation of this big wave of black Caribbean blacks in England. And the white working class didn't like that.
I identify, right, with Caribbean culture. Although I'm British, what I refer to as first generation British-born black. Yeah, right. My parents, they came to this country thinking it was the motherland, filled with ideas of the streets were paved with gold. But I went to school with them. I went to school with the indigenous British. Yeah, right. I know the streets aren't paved with gold. I know the hatred they hold in their hearts at that time. Yeah, things have improved.
Sure.
Yeah, right. But it was all brand new then.
Right.
It was all brand new. I'm talking 1960s and 1970s.
Was it mostly white Liverpool kids that you grew up with? Or was it other immigrants?
Here's the situation.
Did you know the Beatles?
Do you know? Interestingly enough, I did.
Really? You met them?
Yeah, I know where they used to buy their weed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Used to go, see, we lived in what was called a South End. Yeah, right? And there was, Lord Woodbine was a famous Caribbean singer, but he was also a barber. Yeah, right? And if you want to get a smoke, if you want to get a draw, you go to barbers.
Oh.
Yeah. And I used to see the Beatles coming to the barbers to score their weed.
Right.
As a small child. I've actually begged money off John Lennon. Because you've got to understand that the Mersey beat sound, right, is influenced, same as Elvis. Yeah. All the music's ours. It all comes from us.
That's true. You listen to Chuck Berry, it sounds like it could be a Paul McCartney song.
Right.
It's wild.
So it's not like what was me or it shouldn't have happened. That's what happened. But as you know, and what your American audience know, right, is that 60s, 70s, there was no crossover. Well, everything that was going on in the United States of America, yeah, right, was happening also in Britain. But Britain and British-born blacks, we were always 10 years behind. Yeah, 10 to 15 years behind. Yeah, but and we didn't face the brutality that our brothers faced in the southern counties such as Mississippi, Georgia, and those such places.
There was never any Jim Crow laws like there were in the United States, in Britain.
See.
At least on the books.
What you've got to understand about the British aristocracy, because I have to make the distinction, yeah, right? When I talk about white people, Caucasians, yeah, I have to make the distinction between the ruling elite, middle class, working class, lower class, and what I call the underclass.
Wow,
yeah, right. There's a difference.
A lot of classes.
Yeah, right. And a lot of indigenous white people have faced the same hardships that I have.
Of course.
You're right. Because before the ruling elite, yeah, when the Europeans were warring amongst themselves, the Prussians were fighting the Franks were fighting the British, and we're having 100-year wars, yeah, right? All the non-elites were serfs, yeah. It was a feudal system. Yeah, right. And they lived on the land. And if you watch programs like Braveheart, yeah, and you watch the struggle that the Scottish had with the English, it's the same type of thing. There was just no element of pigmentation.
Right.
In
course.
that. There's always been
It's the same thing with Ireland, too.
There's always been oppression. Well, Ireland has been oppressed in certain parts of Ireland for 800 years, but there's also, because you've got Northern Ireland and you've got Ered, there's Unionists, yeah, right, there's Loyalists, yeah, right, and then there's the Catholics, who are looking for independence. It's not a subject that I speak about, but I was in Belfast for a friend of mine's 40th, the beginning of August, middle of September maybe, this year, 2024, yeah? And I seen the gates. I went into the Irish Museum, and I see, and it's exactly the same type of division, yeah, right? But what I found starkly interesting is they're exactly the same people.
Right. So that's proof, though, that the divisions, because that all comes from the Ulsters. It all comes, the problems in Northern Ireland all come from the elites in Britain relocating the Ulster Protestants and giving them a bunch of land for people that were already living there, much like what's happening in Palestine and, the history of Israel and Palestine. So that's proof that racism is just the tool that wedges poor people apart. It really all comes down to economic dominion by the ruling elite. So look, you're
correct.
It's 1959. You're born in Liverpool. You come into the system like very young. You were in a foster home.
So interestingly enough, yeah, right. I went into a care home. Yeah.
Can you tell us why you did that? I'm sorry.
The circumstances. I've wrote a new book. The new book's called The Devil Decoded. I've decoded the devil. And the circumstances with regards to why I was in care, right, will be contained in that book. And that book won't be released until my mum passes away. Yeah, right? Because there's certain revelations I'm going to make in that book that I don't want my mum to be around when I make them. And for the simple reason, I adore my mother. I love my mother, right? She was a white woman with 5 children with all different names, all different colors of the rainbow. And she did what she had to do to survive, yeah, right? And as a result of that, yeah, right, we were taken off her.
What does that mean, though? Where was your father? What happened to your father? Because you were very young, it feels like, when the family started to split apart.
Right. So they were married, yeah, right? And my mum had 3 children already, when she met my father.
Okay.
And then she had my sister, who's 11 months older than me, and then she had me. I'm the baby. I'm the youngest of 5. Yeah, right? And daddy, in the West Indies, we refer to our fathers as daddy. Even as adults, they're still daddy. And daddy was a seaman, yeah, right? If he fought in the war, yeah, in the Commonwealth services, fought for our right to be in this country, yeah. And while he was away, Mum had an affair. Yeah, Dad found out about the affair, and that caused them to divorce. Yeah. I was told as a young child that my father ran away with the babysitter. I didn't like my father for a very long time, and further into the story, I will tell how I repaired the relationship with him. Okay. But just to say, Dad was wounded by what Mum did.
Right.
Yeah, he wasn't involved. I believed he wasn't involved. I believed he wasn't interested. I believe he abandoned us. Yeah, right. And as a result of my mum not being able to cope, I ended up in care. I ended up in a home called Menlove Avenue, Woolton Vale Child Assessment Centre. Yeah.
And you were what, 7 years old or something?
6.
Oh,
yeah.
Geez.
Christmas, 1965. I went into the home on the 12th of December, 1965. 6-year-old boy. Just turned 6. Yeah. And I left there on the 23rd of December after an incident. The incident was a celebrity came to give the children presents. Yeah. And I was given a red fire engine with a yellow ladder on it and a silver bell. And the gentleman who gave me that fire engine, he then attempted to touch me on what we call our underneath. Yeah. Yeah. Tried to grab me by my penis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I smashed him in the face with it. Smashed him in the face with my fire engine. Cut him over his left eye. Wow. Yeah. He was the first man that I ever made bleed.
Wow. And that's the first time you met Ringo Starr.
No, that's the first time I met Jimmy Savile.
Just kidding.
Yeah, right. And what people don't realize.
His name was Jimmy Salvo?
Jimmy Savile.
Savile. Okay, we'll pop a picture up of this of this creep.
Jimmy Savile, everybody knows who Jimmy Savile is. Yeah, right. And I'll break it down for you very quickly. Yeah, right. Because monsters, they're not born, they're created. They're created by poverty, neglect, physical and sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've smashed this guy in the face. I've told all the social workers that are in the home what's happened. And I'm branded a dirty, lying black bastard.
They called you that?
I'm branded a dirty, lying black bastard, and I'm shipped off to Wales to some foster parents. Yeah, right. Because I wouldn't shut up about what had happened. And I was tied to a Welsh dresser and whipped continually, until I regressed the memories and stopped speaking about it. Now, let me just go fast forward to 1980 and the home, Woolton Vale Child Assessment Centre was closed down. It was closed down as part of Operation Care. Operation Care was a Merseyside police operation into the physical and sexual abuse of boys. And the paedophilic monsters masquerading as social workers went to prison. Now, your guests are familiar with Cat Williams. Cat Williams will give you the receipts for the truth he tells. Yeah. I'm going to give you some documentation to flash up when this is playing, which is the receipts for everything I say. 60-year-old documents. I made a subject access request under the Freedom of Information Act 2000 for my child files. Because when I brought all this to the fore, when I decided to fight back against the system, I was told I was a liar. I wrote an unofficial white paper. I sent it to the Prime Minister, the Justice Minister, and the Home Secretary. Record the delivery so they couldn't say they never got it. As a result of that, Merseyside Historical Child Abuse Unit and DC Lee Stinchcombe made an investigation, and they accessed my child files. When he accessed my child files, he said, I'm glad I wasn't alive in the 1960s. They made for some harrowing reading.
Mm-hmm.
He read them, I lived them.
Yeah.
And everything that I've just told you is there in those files.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it. I mean, and I'm sure thousands of kids were abused in those homes.
Here's the situation.
Just like in the Catholic Church.
Here's the situation. If I would have been believed in 1965, so many children's lives wouldn't have been ruined. Yeah. This Jimmy Savile, has connections to the former Prime Minister, Ted Heath, and the ship Morning Cloud. Have your viewers look up Morning Cloud, Ted Heath. Yeah, he has connections to the British royal family. Yeah, he was knighted, and was a personal friend of the now King of England, Prince Charles. Yeah, I'm not an anti-royalist. Yeah, I'm not an anti-elitist. Yeah, right. These are the facts of the matter.
Yeah.
These are just matter of facts. This is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Jimmy Salva ever?
He was exposed after he died.
Okay.
He was exposed. He's to give you some context. He's a bit like Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, connected to intelligence, you think? Intelligence services?
Connected to the royal family. He had the run of so because I've been branded a dirty lying black bastard, I've internalized that. Yeah, right. So I prove everything independently from my own word. And one of my favorite words is incontestable. What I'm going to tell you and what I'm going to share with the American audience is incontestable truth. Yeah. And if anybody is interested, there's a book by D.C. Clive Driscoll called The Pursuit of Truth, which is an investigation into Elephant and Castle, into child abuse and satanic rituals and satanic abuse of children. And his investigation was closed down by former Home Secretary Jack Straw, who was a member of Tony Blair's government, because he ran into information that indicated Leon Britton, another Tory, high-ranking Tory MP, loved to have sex with boys.
Oof.
They're everywhere, all over the place. So I managed. So
we got to keep your story moving, though. But that is fascinating.
Coming to the point now. Yeah, right. So this is where the seeds of the devil, and the monster that were placed in me when I left that home as an 11-year-old boy. That finally got back to home
from Wales.
Yeah. I was no longer a smiling child. Yeah. I was filled with rage, filled with anger, filled with hostility. And if you looked at me, I'd stick a screwdriver in you.
Were you whipped pretty often by your foster family? Was that
on a daily basis?
Oh my God!
Yeah, on a daily basis till I still carry scars on my back. Yeah. Well, I thanked them for it. In a way, right? Because they turned me into a very robust individual. Right. They turned me into an individual, right, that with a high tolerance for pain, right, and a cold heart.
The perfect makings of a gangster.
There's a scene in Heat where he says, if you can't turn your back in 40 seconds on anything that's in your life, don't be a gangster. Don't embrace this life.
Right.
Yeah, right. And my weakness was my family. Yeah, right. People attack. People. My enemies couldn't deal with me. Yeah, right. And this new set of young fellas. This is why I ended up in jail in my 50s. Yeah, right. They'll threaten your children and your daughters, and old school guys didn't do that. Old school guys kept it in the street. Yeah.
So tell us about the street. When you get back to Liverpool, you get into martial arts a little later. But when did you first start to be on some thug?
No. See, I'm 11. Yeah, right. And you've got to understand. Yeah, right. My criminal aspirations and my political aspirations. Yeah, you're right. And my aspirations to be free. Yeah, right. Were all strands on one rope. Yeah, right. And they intertwined, and it wasn't like as cut and dried as anything. You understand? Yeah, because at the age of 11, there's an iconic picture. Yeah, and I'll send you the iconic picture from the Sunday Observer magazine. Yeah, 1971. Yeah, I was a member of the YPP, Young Panther Party. Yeah, right. I was a young Black Panther.
Wow, yeah. I didn't know they had Panthers over here. It's
See,
wild.
This is why it's going to be an education for you. Yeah, without there's a guy called Joey Joel. Yeah, Joey Joel is family to my ex-wife. Without Joey Joel, yeah, Dave Clay, Dave Smith, yeah, and the likes of those, the older boys than me, there wouldn't have been a chapter here in the UK. But we did have a chapter here in the UK. Yeah, we wore green jackets. Yeah, we wore green army jackets. We had sweet afros. Yeah, right, and it was the breakout of Black is Beautiful.
Sure.
Angela Davis, the Soul Dad Brothers, yeah, Huey P. Newton, yeah, right. And I had an elder brother than me, yeah. And he has a technique of reading 2 books at a time. And the 2 books that he made me read was Malcolm X's autobiography and Walter Rodney's How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. Those 2 books changed the way I looked at life. Yeah. I wrote them when I was about 14, 15. I started the Panthers when I was about 11.
And what were you guys doing? Organizing the community, or what kind of activities were the Black Panthers doing in Liverpool?
Here's the situation, yeah, right? As I told you, we're in the south end of the city. So our back is to the River Mersey. Yeah, right. And we're surrounded. I'll describe it this way for the American audience so they can understand. Yeah. We were like an outpost. Yeah. And General Custer's outpost. Yeah, right. Out in bandit country, and we were surrounded. Yeah, right. So the Black communities in the South End with the backs to the River Mersey were surrounded by Lodge Lane boot boys, Park Road boot boys, Ale Road boot boys, Speak Road boot boys. Yeah, right. Now, boot boys, yeah, are skinheads. Skinheads, Ben Sherman shirts, braces, Fleming jeans, Harrington jackets, Crombie coats, and bright red Oxblood airwear, Dr. Martin's airwear, better known as stompers. We were and they were the boots that they used to stomp us with.
Ooh. Sharp dressers, though.
In the early 70s, a bit like America, we couldn't come out of the community unless we came out of the community in a group, because we'd be jumped. Yeah, right. I've seen online for Louisiana. You needed to have a hunting license to go hunting. Yeah, well, in the UK, yeah, right. It was stomping. Yeah, stomping went on to bashing, right? But it was all racially motivated.
Right.
It was all white skinheads wanting to pick on black geezers.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And these are obviously white working class kids. These are not
these
people of education or money.
These are the same people that I went to school with.
Right.
These are the same people that I'm in class with.
Uh-huh.
These are the same people as me. You're right. But I'll give you for example. When I got to school in the first year, the PE master said to me, "Yeah, I've put you in the 100 meters and the 200 meters and the javelin. Yeah, because you are fast. You understand?
Wow.
This is a teacher. I was 11. Yeah, I waited 4 years to get him for that. Yeah.
What'd you do to him when you got him?
When we played against the teachers, and when I was 15, and we played against the teachers in the basketball, he jumped up for the basketball, and I just whacked him in the guts. I just whacked him in the guts.
Good for you. Today's episode is brought to you by Mando. Mando, the whole body deodorant. You guys know I've been preaching about Mando for the last couple of months by now. It's the only deodorant I use. They sent me a free pack a while ago. I tried it and I'm hooked. I am a customer. It's whole body deodorant. You can use it in your pits, your crevices, bottoms of your feet. It is completely aluminum-free, dye-free, vegan. It's got all of the properties of good deodorant, but none of the bad stuff. Mando was created by a dermatologist who saw firsthand how BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Mando comes with 4 incredible scents, including Mount Fuji, Bourbon Leather, Clover Woods, and Pro Sport. Mando is clinically proven to control body odor long after you get out of the shower, way more than the other leading brands. Check this out. According to a study, 12 hours after a man gets out of the shower and uses deodorant, his grundle odor is 5 out of 10, meaning he is halfway towards being fully functified again, okay? With Mando, the grundle odor, 0 out of 10. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. Check it out. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like baby wipes and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack when you use their exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use code Mitchell, MITCHELL, at shopmando.com. Again, that's shopmando, SHOPMANDO.com when you use that promo code Mitchell. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe when you use Mando. Today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks. You guys know Prize Picks if you love the show by now. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Are you a casual sports fan like me but love firing on action? Prize Picks is the perfect app for you. Check it out. You're not playing against professionals. It's just you versus the numbers. This is what you do. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000x your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It's playoff time, gentlemen and ladies. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs, that's for sure. And now, Prize Picks offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. And check it out, we got a New Year's promo for you. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. You guys, take it from me, a casual sports fan who doesn't have time to study all of the information necessary to become a professional. It's so simple to use, and it's actually made me more of a sports fan. It makes watching that game, that boring NCAA game that you don't really care about, makes it that much more exciting. And it is the best way in daily fantasy sports to bubble, to turn that little $10 into a lot more. Download the app today and use code CONNECT, CONNECT, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Once again, that's promo code CONNECT to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Now, I know America's a racist country, and I wasn't alive in 1970, but I'm fairly certain that no teachers were calling their black students. It's a different kind of racism over here. I can't quite put my finger on it.
So listen, let me explain it to you, right? So you've got American racism, you've got South African racism. That's top shelf stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Blacks.
apartheid. Yeah. You can't do it, will kill you. Yeah. Now you still got what you call some sundown towns in America. There's still certain parts of the states that is as bad as it ever was. Yeah, right. But here, yeah, it's all subtle. Yeah,
Soul?
subtle.
Subtle.
Yeah. It's not as overt. See, in the seven,
That's pretty overt. That's pretty on the nose.
That
as
was
we
the
say.
70s.
Right.
So
right.
let me quantify it. In the 1970s, the demon of racism, right, was easily to identify. Stomping around, you'd have on TV, the teacher could call you you could do it. Then we had some legislation brought in, some equal opportunities, some legislation brought in with it. It started to tone down. Yeah, right.
What years were those?
1976.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So that would have been like your version of like the Civil Rights Act in
Correct.
1965.
Yeah, right.
Got
right.
it.
I'm made discrimination illegal.
Right.
Yeah, right. So but then also what you've got to remember, right, is now I'm 16. I've started martial arts. Yeah, right. I'm growing there. I'm starting to. My balls have dropped. Yeah, right. I've been pummeled for the first 16 years in my life.
Yeah.
Now, right. Two things would have happened to me. I should have either capitulated. Yeah, right. Or become a junkyard dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I became a junkyard dog.
Right.
Yeah. I'm starting to move through. I'm starting to get tall.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get muscles. Yeah. I'm starting to get testosterone.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And I'm not a bad street fighter.
Yeah. And you're a big kid.
I was 6'1" at 11.
Yeah.
6'1", a size 11 feet at 11. I was a man child. Anyway, but I was like a stick insect. 213 is the explosion of the martial arts with Bruce Lee. Yeah, right. But I didn't follow Bruce Lee. I followed Jim Kelly. Because when I seen Jim Kelly putting 2 police officers into the bin, I said, I want to be that guy. Yeah, right. And that's what my love with martial arts started.
Right.
Yeah.
How did your love of martial arts, how did that flourish or become, like you traveled all over Europe fighting in competitions, I believe,
Yes,
right?
correct.
And you were successful.
Correct.
I think you might have lost to some Americans, but that's about it. Yeah, that's acceptable. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because we excel. But
Okay.
hopefully it wasn't a white guy.
Okay.
But how did this lead into your criminal career?
Okay, so I start martial arts 15, 16, 17. I meet my partner in crime, Andrew John. Yeah, PIC. Yeah, right. And we gel. Yeah, right.
Is he a black guy or a white guy?
He's a mixed race, exactly the same as me. His dad from Trinidad and his mom's white. Exactly the same.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. We became blood brothers. We're facing severe unemployment. We can't get anything. Yeah, right. It's 1976. Homosexuality is still illegal. Yeah, right. It's still illegal. Yeah, right. And the homosexuals, they meet in underground toilets. Yeah. And our choice of crime then was street robbery, mugging. Do you know what mugging is?
Mugging, yeah.
Yeah, mugging. I think you've got another name for it. Anyway, it's just sticking people up for the goods, the watches, and give me a wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right,
Very popular in New York City back then,
right.
too.
Yeah. Yous would do it at gunpoint. Yeah, right. We were using our martial arts to do it. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So there was a spate of street robberies, and where the victims, because they were victims, had been kicked from a standing position in the head, so they knew it was karate people.
Right.
They knew it was martial arts people. But the beauty of that robbery, was because homosexuality was illegal, they couldn't go to the police.
Oh, so you were doing this to gay guys?
Yeah.
Wow.
They weren't called gay then. They were called homosexuals. Gay, you could be gay and happy. They weren't called gay then. And I'm not homophobic in any way, shape, or form. I've got a gay brother. You understand? Yeah. It was because they were coming into our area, because we knew they had money, and because we knew they couldn't go to the police.
Right.
Yeah. This is the birth, the origins of taxation.
Yeah.
The inability to report the crime.
Right.
You understand? Yeah, right. And that finished us. That we were doing that. We were doing martial arts. We were training. When I really became of age was the 1981 uprising. Yeah, right. Now, the 1981 uprising was as a result of the then Chief Constable Kenneth Oxford, and he says, the mixed race community was becoming a problem. There was loads of us. They used to call us lads. Yeah, right. Which is half white, half black. Yeah, right. So we were the boys. Yeah, right. That's what we were called.
That's so archaic.
Yeah. Well, we're talking late 70s. We're talking 50 years ago. So it's not. It's my lifetime.
No, it's pretty recent.
Yeah,
I was born in 86.
Yeah. So
this is happening in 80.
So
81.
No. So he says the community of Liverpool AIDS is the results between the liaisons of white Irish prostitutes and black African and Caribbean seamen. Yeah, right. That was the tinderbox to the riot. Plus, the police brutality and the police. See, everybody. We used to say to tell everybody the police beat you up when they arrest you. They do this, but nobody believed us. Now, with the advent of mobile phones and cameras, everybody knows it's true.
Of course.
But when we were saying it, nobody was believing us, and we were brutalized.
Yeah,
right. But now, those immigrants that came post-World War, right. We were now their son. We're their sons.
Yeah.
We're now 20 years of age.
Right.
We're born in this country.
Yeah.
We've gone to school, which is we know. Right. That you stinks. You understand? Yeah, right. So let's have it.
Right. How did the riots start? This is a fascinating story.
So the popular story goes with a guy called Leroy Cooper. A bike was stolen. Yeah, right. The boy, something over the rest of the bike, and Leroy was complaining that his friend had been arrested. Leroy Cooper, God rest his soul, wasn't even there. He was arrested and he was taken away. It was on Mulgrave Street, facing the Caribbean Centre. Yeah, right. And then they took him away, and there was 3 coppers left. And one of the coppers looked at my partner in crime, Andrew John, and was trying to arrest him. And Andrew John gave me what is called the look. Yeah. And the look is, are you with me? Yeah. Are we doing this? Is this happening to us? Yeah. Maybe 4 seconds later, 5 seconds later, 3 coppers were unconscious. Andrew John, my dead brother, threw the first punch of the Toxters riots.
Wow.
I threw the second.
And you knocked them out with one each?
We knocked them out. We took the jackets off them. Yeah, right. And we pushed the car, the police car. There was a roadworks. Yeah. And we pushed the police car down the road. Yeah. Sergeant striped jackets. Yeah, right. And it went from there. It was spontaneous.
Wow.
From there.
That's a piece of history.
It's see, not many people know that. They put it down to him. Yeah, right. Now, there was a guy called Ivan Freeman. I've sought Ivan Freeman out because I'm documenting everything, and Ivan remembers it. Yeah. Andrew John threw the first punch of the 1981 Southend Uprising.
So you knocked out these 3 coppers, and then what was the end result of that riot,
so
that uprising?
That lasted 13 days.
Wow.
And the only way they disbanded us and dismembered us, CS gas was used on the British mainland for the first time. It only ever been used in Northern Ireland. But to quell our ferocity and to get us to stop fighting. Right. It was used and the only thing that did us was this. And I remember, excuse me, I remember a CS canister gas, a CS canister pellet, and we found it, and it has on it, not to be fired at individuals. I know a guy called Phil Robbo. Yeah, Phil Robbo was shot in the chest with it. Yeah. Now, when anybody wants to stop the tape and type in the names into a Google engine, they'll find everything I'm saying is there. They'll find that everything I operate on a policy of rigorous honesty. Yeah, right. I'm bringing candor and I'm bringing truth to the stories that I'm bringing because I'm a man on a mission, a man with an agenda. Yeah, right.
What were the results of? What happened during the riot? Did it look like the Watts riot? Is it buildings burning and how many people were involved in it? Okay. Was it a race riot?
So it was a riot against the police. Okay. It was a riot against oppression. Yeah, right. And it was also a race riot. Yeah, right. Although lots of white guys that lived with us, that lived in our community, fought alongside us. Right. Yeah, right. Because your viewers will know it as Toxted. It wasn't called Toxted then. It was called the South End. Yeah, right. Bit like Queens, New York. Yeah, that was our place. Right. You understand?
Yep.
That was our turf.
And are you attacking cops, attacking police stations?
So this is what happened. 400 police officers were injured. Sent to hospital. Yeah. 11 million pounds worth of damage, which would be about 50 million now. 700 arrests and 1 fatality. Yeah. The young man that died was a guy called David Moore. David Moore had a club foot. David Moore was a white guy, and David Moore had a club foot. Yeah, the police used to use Land Rovers. Then they began to try to run us over. And David, because of his club foot, got run over.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
He died.
R.I.P.
2 police officers were charged with manslaughter. They were found not guilty further down there, and it went. There's now a street named after them. Yeah.
Wow.
As a result of that, yeah, we then became, the journalists came, they seen the district was called Toxted. It then became Toxted all across the world. It went right across Europe.
Yeah.
But it became a no-go area.
Right.
It became a no-go area. Yeah. And we grew like redwoods.
Who's we?
The Solid Gold Posse. Yeah. The Solid Gold Posse, yeah, right, was a posse of armed robbers. And how you would get your kitty, you know what a kitty is? When you club your money together.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. A kitty is when several individuals pool their money together for an enterprise.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Like union dues almost.
Yeah. Right. So you'd rob a bank. Yeah. And you get your money together. Yeah. Right. And then you go to Holland and you buy cocaine in Holland. And then you'd ship once you got the cocaine from Holland to the United Kingdom, yeah, right, it became incredibly valuable.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Right.
For example, if it costs you, let's say, £20,000 in Amsterdam for a kilo of cocaine, yeah, and £2,000 to transport it, you've landed it for 22. Yeah, right. That's 90% pure cocaine, yeah, right? You can make that into 2.5 kilos or 3 kilos. Yeah, you can sell the kilos at 33 each. Right. Yeah, you're tripling your money. Yeah, right. But it's done in large numbers.
Wow.
Allegedly. So anyway.
So you guys, did you form the Solid Gold Crew?
No.
Oh, they were already around.
This is a situation. So Andrew, John, and I, yeah, right, were martial artists, yeah, right, in certain nightclubs in Liverpool, yeah, right, and this is well documented too, yeah, right. They operated a colour bar. no blacks, you can't come in. Yeah, right. So we started to beat up doormen. Yeah, right. And then I slipped into what you call security work. Yeah, and I had my first security firm, Scorpio Security Services. Yeah, I opened that up in 1983.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got your own company at 24 years old.
Wait, I've got my own company. This is my crew. Andy Palmer, British amateur boxing heavyweight champion. Andrew John, British karate champion. Brian Schumacher, captain of the 1984 Olympic boxing team. Jimmy Price, 1982 Commonwealth gold medalist. Yeah. And,
Wow.
And yours truly is the leader.
Wow.
Yeah. Some heavy hitters, street fighters from Highton called Jack McNeilis and Jimmy James Styles. Yeah. And we set up camp behind enemy lines.
The white neighborhoods?
We're Southend. Yeah.
North End.
Liverpool's the North End. Yeah, right. Southend the Catholics. North End's the Protestant, right? And the aren't supposed to be able to go to the South End. Yeah. I went to the South End. I went to the North End.
Right.
Yeah, right. Because Liverpool Scousers in Britain have got a reputation for being militant. There's only one group of people more militant than Scousers, and that's black Scousers.
Those are black people from the South End of Liverpool?
No. Scousers are white guys. Yeah. Scousers. I'm a Scouser, but I'm a black Scouser. You understand? Yeah, right. Scousers are militant. We're known to be militant. People say Liverpool, we're not even part of England, but our own country. You understand? A bit like New Yorkers. Stand alone. A lot of, but I mean native New Yorkers.
Right.
A lot of people go to live in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
So Liverpool actually reminds me of the Belfast of England in terms of how the history, the segregation, the militancy involved with politics.
That is a very astute observation, because that's exactly what it is.
Thanks, baby.
That's exactly what it is.
So what is the firm? So now you've got this ferocious group of ex-fighters.
Yeah, right. So we're in there. Yeah, right.
Yeah. How are you making money?
So I'm working for a company called Mecca Leisure Northwest. Yeah. We're making, my guys are making £500 a week each. Yeah, right, which is about £2,000 now. Yeah. Off fiddle and what we're doing on the door.
Well, okay, explain that because we don't know what fiddle is.
So let's say it's $10 to go in the club, yeah, right, and there's 40 years, yeah, right. So that's $40 you to go in, yeah, right. I'll take it in as my guest for $20, and I just say to the people, these are my cousins, or these are this, yeah. But I'm just gangstering the staff, yeah, right, and I'm just putting the money in my pocket.
Sure,
it's called a fiddle,
right?
Understand? Yeah, right. And I also had the girl on the clicker that worked with me, and we made a fortune.
Wow. Just off that like petty nickel and diamond?
Right. So where there's muck, there's brass, lad. Where there's muck, there's brass. So anyway, Andrew and I are getting a reputation, right, of heavy hitters for violence, physical violent guys. Yeah. You come to our club, you try anything on, you get knocked out. Right? That was our motto. And the cocaine and the tablet scene was just starting off. I wasn't involved in the drugs. A guy came and seen us, yeah, right, because I was also doing commercial debt recoveries. A guy came and seen us and said he'd had a kilo of cocaine taken off him, yeah, right, and that if we could get it back for him, yeah, he'd give us £4,000 to £5,000. We retrieved the cocaine. But then Andrew was friends, so was I was friends with him. We went to the same school. and this is a name that you guys would know, was Curtis Warren. Curtis Warren made a rich list as a cocaine baron. Yeah, you're right. So, and this is Curtis is just starting off at this time.
Yeah,
you're right. It's all brand new. It's all early 80s. We go to see Curtis, and Curtis tells us what the cocaine's worth. So I keep it. I keep it. Yeah, right.
You keep the coke, Curtis's coke that was stolen from him.
Curtis's coke.
Okay.
The man that came and seen us asked us to do a job for him. Yeah, let me get it clear, chronologically clear. We did the job for him, got the cocaine back, but then I wanted to know what it was worth, really.
Right.
So I went to a cocaine dealer. Yeah, and he told me what it was actually worth. And when I seen what a kilo of cocaine was worth, yeah, and where I was working,
yeah,
I have the ability to spot a deal. Yeah. I'm like Columbus.
Well, that doesn't take it. It doesn't
landed with the Indians thinking, oh, this'll be easy. You understand?
Well, I don't think it takes an explorer to see that a free kilo of $40,000 cocaine
anyway,
gets you in the game. But
you're right. So then we're working on. Me and Andrew are working on the door. Yeah, right. We've got our own crew. We've got our own import export group. We're doing what we need to do.
You're in the game now. You're selling coke.
Yeah, right. There was lots of different groups doing it. Yeah, right. And there was lots of fallouts. So say you and him are working together. Yeah, right. And then you get a good parcel in, and then you decide you're not paying him, and you're keeping everything. Lots of disgruntled people used to come and find us. Lots of disgruntled people used to come to find us and give us the information about, well, this is there, that's there, this is what's going on. And this is how the taxation started.
Right.
This is how the kidnapping started.
Right.
This is how the torture and the drug dealers started for the money. Yeah, you're right. And it was an extension of robbing the homosexuals when I was a young lad.
Right.
Because who could they go and tell?
Sure.
If they weren't strong enough to hold on to what they had, yeah, right. And I modelled myself on the British Empire. Yeah, you're right. If you're not strong enough to hold on to your goods, I'm going to take them off you.
Sure.
Now,
so you guys were how much? Give us a scenario, right? Like, say I'm a drug dealer in Liverpool. I got jacked for 5 kilos. Somebody hit me for 5 birds. I come to you. How much are you going to charge me to go get it back?
So they would come. Yeah, and they'd say, I had a share in the 5 beds, and they up for my. All I want is my. Yeah, right. Then they would tell me the insides of the operation. They would tell me the safe houses. They would tell me anything. They would tell me who the key players were. They would tell me what I needed to know. Yeah, right. And all I needed to know was the information. Yeah, and I will give you 5% of whatever I make. Yeah, right. Because I'm going to take everything. Yeah, I'm not just going to go and get you 5 kilos.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to take what they've got, and I'm going to take the money. Yeah, right. And then I will pay you 5% of what I've got.
That's not very much, but it's better than nothing, right?
So let's say you've lost 50 grand.
Yeah.
I do a hit of £1 million. You've got 5% of £1 million. You've got well over your 50 grand.
Right, of course.
You understand? You're right.
Of course.
See, what you've got to understand, you're right, is I'm bringing a business mentality. Yeah.
Right.
That's why I don't say prices. I always work on percentages. Yeah, right. Because it's about volume.
Right,
yeah, right. And then when you might, it's like, so a guy could come from Liverpool down here, and here is a safe house. Yeah. And behind that TV is a safe, and you got 40 kilos of cocaine in that safe. He's come with his money, he's bought everything off you, and he's gone back to Liverpool. You don't think that's a done deal? He comes with all that information and tells me. Yeah, I now know that in that house there's 2 guys sitting in there. They got 40 kilos behind the thing, yo. The money comes in, the money comes out. Yeah. And I'm just coming in.
Right.
I'm coming in and doing what I do.
Right.
You understand? And it was all about information.
Sure.
Yeah.
So sometimes it wouldn't even be a person who got ripped off. It would be a guy who's in the game and he comes to you.
There's all different scenarios there.
Right.
I give it for an example. Yeah, right. At that period in my life, I was anti-white. Yeah, the white guys had everything locked down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We was getting scraps as far as I was concerned. Yeah, right. And I'm living in the strangest jungle ever. This is a jungle where sheep are fat and lions are thin.
Yo,
That's a strange jungle.
what biblical verse is that? That's beautiful.
Right. So no, that's vintage Stephen French. Right. So the lions had to feed. Yeah, right. You've got to remember who are first generation British born blacks. I'll tell you who we are. We're the last generation to stand up to Tory tyranny. Yeah. We stood up in Toxteth, Liverpool, Moss Side, Manchester, Chapeltown, Leeds, Handsworth, Birmingham, Brixton, South London, Tottenham, North London, and don't forget the oldest community in Britain, St. Paul's, Bristol. We set the country on fire. We're the last ones to do it.
You know what? If I was your prison counselor, I would say you're justifying right now. You're rationalizing, Stephen. Do you think part of you,
listen,
you were driven obviously by political ideology, but also greed?
One of the things about me, is I have the ability to rationalize anything.
We all do.
Yeah,
all
right?
criminals do.
And yes, now let me just be honest. Yeah, right. I didn't rob drug dealers and steal their money because I was anti-drugs. I robbed drug dealers and stole the money because I wanted the money. I did everything for the money. Mm-hmm. It was all about the paper. Mm-hmm. I was living a very extremely selfish life. Mm. Yeah, I was extremely damaged individual. Yeah.
But I can understand how being politically motivated early, you have these cravings to be free. And later you find out it's easier to rob drug dealers and make money than it is to be a Black Panther organizing the community and being broke. So, by the way, I just want you to know no judgment here in this podcast.
Listen. That's a good analysis of it. Yeah, right. But here's the other thing. Yeah, when I stole my money, lots of people ate. Yeah. Women got the lights put on.
Right.
Yeah. Children got new clothes. Mm-hmm. Baby got new shoes. Right. You understand? Yeah, right. Everybody riding on my back. Right. You understand? And I was happy to do that. Right. Yeah, right. I was happy because I was young, I was strong. Yeah, right. And I had endless energy. Yeah. And I also had this rage inside me. Yeah. And I always knew I was more than just a criminal, but I was criminalized at an early age. Yeah. A policy of criminalization was implemented against us from 1948 to 1971, where we were criminalized. Same like they did with the Irish. Yeah. First time I was ever arrested, I had the keys put in my hood. Yeah. And I'm not crying or complaining. Yeah. I don't do that. Yeah. Right. I'm quite stoic about it all. Yeah. Right. But I know how I was set on the road that I was on. I know how the rage was put inside me. This is what the devil Decoded's about. Yeah. Because I've also just completed 5 years of psychoanalytic therapy, which was marvelous.
Let's put a pin in that.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. I definitely get that. So now, I mean, you must have gotten rich very quickly if you're hitting these scores.
Okay.
Tell us about like a memorable score.
So.
And by the way, did you go in with guns?
So let me tell you about a memorable score. Yeah, and I can use the names in this because the guys went to jail for it. Yeah, and the crimes he's done it. He was a heroin dealer. Yeah, his name was Paul. Yeah, let's just call him Paul. He knows who he is. Yeah, his name was Paul, and Paul was about maybe 8-9 years younger than me. I was mid-20s. He was like being a teenager. Yeah, but he was heavily into brown. Anyway, I was at his mum's house. I was armed. Pulled a gun on him. I took the first. It was 4 kilos of heroin off him. Wow. But then I've got him into the car. Right, because I'm taking him to the stash to get the rest. Yeah, it's called emptying him out. I want everything.
Yeah, it's a clearance sale.
Give me your shoes too. Yeah.
By the way, were you masked up, or did you want people to know who you were?
No. He knew who I was. Right. I've done it. I've done both. Yeah, he knew who he was, and he knew he was being gangstered.
Yeah.
When now I'm driving the car with a guy of mine called Darren. I'm driving the car, and I'm not a very good driver. I'm not a getaway driver. And the police come behind us. Darren says to me, kick it, which means take off. Yeah, right. But I've got a gun, 4 kilos of brown, right. And I think I can talk my way out of it. Right. He doesn't know. I don't want to see what he wants to stop us for. And I've always got the opportunity, because it was one copper on his own. Yeah, right. That if it's going badly, we'll just knock him out and get off.
Right.
Yeah, right. So I'm talking to him, and I've got him lined up, and he's got a rugby union, a rugby logo for rugby. And I said to him, "Oh, are you a rugby union or a rugby league guy? I love me rugby." That was it.
Wow.
He lets us go. Get back in the car. Darren looks at me. And he says to me, "You're unbelievable. How do you do that?" Yeah, but this was the cold, this was the stillness and the brains and everything. Yeah, I had a piece down my back.
Right.
I had everything that I needed. I had them lined up. Yeah, but I didn't want to take the chase because I knew I can't drive. And then everything was wrong.
Right.
Everything. It wasn't good to run away.
No.
Yeah, right. Unless we had to. Anyway.
So how many keys of brown did you end up taking?
Getting about 10 kilos.
And heroin must have been worth like
40 grand then.
Wholesale?
Yeah, 40 grand wholesale.
Wow.
Yeah, but £1 million worth easy.
Wow.
Yeah. With no cost.
Yeah.
No overhead.
So did you guys, these drugs that you were stealing, you were selling them off. Did you become your own drug dealers, or did you just sell the drugs you stole and then go back to stealing? Or robbing, I should say.
No. It's called food.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got food. If you want me to feed you, come on, feed me. Now, there's certain people that you would make pay. And there's certain people that you would lay on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they would come back and they would pay you. Yeah, right? But I had other people that dealt with that for me. You understand? Yeah, right. I was just an enforcer. Yeah. I was just, if you fuck about with my money, that's when you see me. Yeah. If you fuck about with Andrew's money, that's when you're seeing him. You understand? You're right. And then we had crew members that were happy to handle that business, and make their share. And it's just like the mafia.
Right.
Everything gets kicked up.
Right.
Everything gets kicked up.
And you're the boss.
And
you and Andrew.
If I rob £1 million worth of drugs, and I end up with £250,000 out of it for myself, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not greedy. If 750 grand has gone and fed the crew, and everybody's happy, and everybody's making money.
Of course.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's harmonious.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And you can and this is why there was no prison.
Right.
This is why there was no charges. This is why there was no.
It's unbelievable.
It's not really. Not really. It happens everywhere. It's like I was in Birmingham on Sunday doing some work with German TV. And they wanted somebody from the community, something about early release prisoners. Yeah, right. I went and found the bookies. Yeah, the off license, the bookies, the off license, and the news agents. Yeah, and I said within 50 yards of here there'll be some drug dealers. Looked up the corner, 3 black guys on the corner. Said there's the drug dealers. Every community's the same. You understand?
Not mine. I live in a very, very safe white. We call the cops on black drug dealers.
I'm talking about urban areas, urban inner city areas. Yeah, right. Because I bet juxtaposed very close to you. Yeah. So America's so big, so it's so different. He is so small.
Yeah.
Everything's on top of each other.
Yeah. But you're right. These we call them like ancillary or secondary cities now.
Yeah.
It used to be New York City was the place where there were drug dealers in every corner. Now it's been pushed out to New Jersey and places in like upstate, right?
Yeah.
That kind of is England has that same thing. London, there's no
It's called county lines.
county lines, right?
What you've got to remember, Johnny. Yeah, right. Is I'm talking early 80s.
Right.
Yeah. I'm talking way less CCTV.
Yeah, none.
I'm talking. The police aren't nowhere near as advanced as they are today.
No.
Yeah, right. It's kind of a free for all.
Yeah.
And a Wild West, and nobody really knows what's going on at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can go to Holland and you can send your granny through, and your granny can come through with a suitcase, and she won't have no problems.
Right.
Yeah, right. It was very, the law enforcement was behind.
Yeah.
Law enforcement had to catch up.
I mean, I don't even think British cops had guns back then.
No, British police have always been armed.
Oh, okay. Is that a myth that British cops don't have guns?
Listen, there's always been armed police. Yeah, right. The police, the Bobby on the police or the regular cop, it's not regular. You have an armed division.
Right.
You have an armed response.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, right. And they got to get a phone call, firearms used. Yeah, right. And then they have an armed response. Okay.
But they didn't have, did England have its own like version of the DEA back in the 80s?
No.
Oh, so it is a wild, it's for the taking.
Back in the 80s, it was CID.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And the police was not as sophisticated, or technologically savvy as they are now. Yeah, right. But they had to move with the times like everybody does. Yeah, right. But back then, we was always racially profiled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we had to work with inside that. Yeah, right. We had say if I was going somewhere, yeah, right, and we was on a call out. We'd always have 3 cars. Yeah, right. All the lads would be in the car. Yeah, right. And then we'd have a guy. We had a guy called Peter Ginley. We used to call him Clink. Yeah, because he'd drive a nice little blender and he'd have all the tools. Yeah, right. So we could take a tug. Yeah, right.
Right.
Not honest yet, right. And he's like what you call a blender, white guy. You just wouldn't think to stop him.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's how we used to operate.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And he was also good for moving drugs.
Right.
You understand?
So you guys were a firm, as you call them in Britain.
Crew.
You guys were a crew. You did have drug dealing in the crew, but you also had taxation, robbery, which was something you handled. Were there any other earners, other money-making operations?
I was a social entrepreneur, right? And I believed in revenue streams. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my brother, who was a regular guy, I had a community organization called Third Whale Promotions. We used to run the Merseyside International Caribbean Carnival. Brought Liverpool City Centre to a standstill, 500 people in the city. We used to do that every year. As a result of that, I went to Sweden, Stockholm Water Festival, and I had dinner in the Golden Palace with King Gustav.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've done a lot of
That's cool.
Interesting things.
And he had no idea what you were up to back in Liverpool.
No, listen, until I let it out the bag myself, nobody did.
Were you dressed like, how did you dress? You're dressed
Black.
very British gangster right now.
All black.
All black?
Black clothes, black cars, black women.
Wow.
I was
revolutionary.
I was part of the black intelligentsia. Yeah, I was part of the Black Awakening. I was part of. You ain't treating us like that no more. Yeah. You want to treat us like that, we'll cut your throat.
Yeah.
Let's see, because I had this argument with my counsel. That's rationalization. That's this. That's that. Violence doesn't work. I said it does work. Yeah, and she said, "Well, how can you?" I said, "Well, look, America wants Iraq's oil. Iraq won't give it to them. So they go over there, bomb the out of them, and take the oil. Violence works. Yeah, right. It might be nice.
It doesn't work in the long term, but it does in the short term.
Listen. I hear what you're saying, yeah, right? But it's about short term. For me, it was about short term goals. It was about getting what I wanted when I needed. Yeah, right. And I'm not saying. I'm arguing that you can't say violence doesn't work. I'm arguing, yeah, right, because every empire that's been built has been built on violence.
Yeah. How long are you operating at this level, this relentless robbing, drug dealing, running?
After 1981, after the riots, I believed that Andrew, John, and I were invincible. And for a short period of time, we were. He went on a job with an untested crew. I told him not to go and do the job. Yeah, he went and done the job. And Andrew was the bagman. Do you know what the bagman is?
No.
Okay, so when you're going to go, say it was a security van. So when you're going to go and do the security van, yeah, you got your driver. Yeah, you've got your bagman. He's the one that's going to grab the money.
Hold the money, sure.
Yeah, right, grab the money. And then you got your two guys that are going to run interference. Yeah, right, and deal with any Johnny come lately do-gooders. Excuse the pun, Johnny.
That's all right.
Yeah. So Andrew always got the bag. So he's gone on to this robbery. They've promised him X amount. He's got the bag. But in the process of getting the bag, he damaged the security guard pretty badly. The driver, who was untested, drove off and left him. Andrew made off, yeah, right, and run. He was unfortunate that 3 students seen him, and one of them was an athletic middle distance runner, and just slotted in behind him like Kip Kano. Kip Kano. Just jump in. No, because he's robbing a bank. Yeah, right. Andrew got into a taxi. Yeah, said to the taxi driver, "I give you half of this if you drive me away." Yeah, taxi driver jumped out of the taxi. Yeah, and by this time the police had turned up, and the guy that had just been keeping him in his distance said he's in that car there, and he ended up doing 4 years.
They were robbing an unarmored truck or something?
Security, it's called a security van.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a security van. Yeah. We robbed factories, banks, the payroll in factories, banks, and cash in transit. Cash in transit.
That would be like an armored truck in America.
Yeah,
right.
They are armored trucks. Yeah, they are.
But they're not armored here.
They have batons. They don't have guns. Yeah, they don't have guns. Yeah, right.
We have them in America, so they're armored. Okay, so you were doing scores all over.
He's gone to jail. Yeah, right. I'm working in the. He comes out of jail. Yeah, we're getting to mid-80s. Yeah, we're still doing robberies. We're still ticking over doing the drugs, and we're living like kings.
You must be making millions of dollars.
We're living like
quid.
Listen. Lots and lots of money was made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots and lots of money was spent. Yeah, right. The police watch these videos all the time. That's all I'm prepared to say. You understand? Lots and lots of money was made. Lots and lots of money was spent.
The streets say 20 million quid.
20 million quid.
That's what I heard.
Is an exaggeration. Yeah, right? It was an exaggeration for the book. Yeah. Let me give you an example. Okay, when I was gonna move, right. When I decided I was finished, I decided that I was going to go and buy an American green card. And in order to buy an American green card, you had to buy an American property, you had to buy an American business like a Tahoe Bells and employ American staff. Yeah, you're right. And I was going to live in a gated community, and you had to show them $5 million in the bank. I could do that.
Okay.
I could do that.
Where were you going to move to in America?
Maryland, because my wife's sister had tenure at Howard University. Yeah, and I was going to send my daughter to Howard because I'm a great believer in education too. Yeah, right. I was still married at that time. This is around 205. Yeah, right, when I was ready to just. But I decided on the island that I was going to give something back.
Hold on.
So let me come
Between
back.
1985 and 2005, what happened in those 20
So
years?
I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, right. So it's 1985. The riots. We're robbing people. We're drug dealing. We're robbing banks. We're making our money. We're doing what we do. We're young men in our 20s. Yeah. And we're growing like redwoods. Yeah. Curtis Warren is beginning to develop. Yeah, right. So it turns out now, right. That the two biggest crews. One's crew's mine. One crew's his.
What's the name of your crew?
My crew was, I was involved with a crew called a Solid Gold Posse. That wasn't actually my crew. That was the bank robbers crew.
Right.
My crew was me, Andrew, and a guy called Modge. Yeah, right. Modge was our banker. Yeah, right.
What was your crew named though?
They nicknamed us Morphy Richards. Morphy Richards is an iron. It's an iron company. Apparently, somebody got burnt with an iron to give up the money.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, got an iron put on the back. And they gave up their stash. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
So he's come out of jail. Yeah, right. I've got one of the key reasons why I never did any jail is I had legitimate businesses also. Yeah. In order to justify the lavish lifestyle that I was living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when the police come to me, I could account for the money that I had.
What kind of businesses did you have?
I had a security business. I had a building business. I had a catering business. Yeah. I had a debt recovery business. Multifaceted businesses. But I'm coming to that. Yeah. Right. Let me come to it this way. Yeah. Right. So. One day, Modjeed's wife comes to me and she says to me, he's getting high on his own on the own supply. Crack is just kicking in. Yeah. Crack was whack. This is when everything got up. Crack everything up. Yeah, because the violence went off the charts with the crack. That's when everybody started getting guns and shooting each other in the UK.
Right.
So she comes and sees me and she says he's getting high on his own supply. He's the banker. Do you know what I mean by that? He's minding the money.
Right.
He's the banker. I go and check the kitty and the kitty's 30k light. This is late 80s. 30k then, that's got to be 4 3s. It's got to be 120 grand now. Yeah. It's 120 grand out of our buy money.
Right.
Yeah, right. Which is, you know what re-up is?
That's what we call it.
Yeah, right. So that's our re-up money. So I take him to task and he says to me, I'm sorry. But I know a drug dealer. I know that he's getting ready to make a buy. Yeah. He's got 30 large in the house waiting to make the buy. Yeah, right. And there's the money that I've lost right there, but you just got to break into the house. So I said to him, okay, but you're not coming with me. Yeah, right, because you're a mess. Yeah, right. He says the guy's name's Sean. I don't rob people that I know. I've got certain golden rules. One of the golden rules is I don't rob people that I know. Yeah, right. If you're working with me, you get paid. I never rip you off if we're working together. But if you f me over, don't cry when I f you over back 10 times worse. Yeah, they're my golden rules. So I've broke into this house, Johnny. Yeah, and I'm rooting everywhere for this 30k, and I can't find it. But I'm a very determined individual. So I decide to wait for the man to come home. Yeah, and when he's going to come home, I'm going to overpower him. Yeah, I'm going to do what's necessary to find out where this money is. The door opens, and it's our driver, Ricky Gaynor, from the Solid Gold Posse.
No.
On our crew.
Whoa.
He's my guy. I'm in his house with a balaclava on and a bat. Wow. Yeah, right. I grab him by his arms and I throw him on the floor. Yeah. And I try to make off. And he reaches up and he pulls my balaclava off. And he goes, "What are you doing?" Yeah, you're all right?
Surprise.
In panic. I open his face up like a watermelon. Oof. Whack him. His face opens up. Yeah. I flee the place. Yeah. I've waited 4 hours for him to come home. I'm gone 30 seconds. Now, my mind's racing. Yeah. Now, my reputation is going to be ruined that I'm trying to rob my own people. Yeah, right. There's only one way to fix that. Kill the man who set me up.
Yep.
Yeah. So somebody run him over, chopped him across his arm, chopped him across his neck, and left him for dead. Yeah.
This is the banker who set you up.
This is the guy who told me that. Yeah. Who did that to him remains a mystery to this day.
Nobody would know.
Yeah, right. Remains a mystery to this day.
I would say,
Yeah.
in my professional opinion, pure coincidence that this guy was left for dead.
So he's left for dead. Yeah. I get a message that he's been left for dead. Yeah, all right. And I go to see Ricky at the hospital. Ricky was our driver.
Yeah.
Ricky says, no. I said, Ricky, look, I wouldn't do that to you. Anyway, a couple of days later, I get a message from Ricky. I used to wear a gold chain. That the gold chain's come off. He's got the gold chain. And if I don't give him £2,000, which is like 10 grand now, if I don't give him £2,000, he's giving the chain to the police. I say, he's getting no money off me. My elder brother at that time was my consigliere. He was my brains. And he said, you whacked him in the face.
Right.
Man, you got to compensate him.
Of course.
Yeah. So I said, okay. So I pay him the £2,000. Yeah, right. But now my reputation's kind of ruined. Like I'm ruined. Curtis, is in Andrew's ear. Right. I told you he was a wrong un. I told you, because Andrew was the most physical out of all of us. I was the sharpest. I was the cleverest.
Right.
We were both physical guys, but Andrew, when it came to fisticuffs, was the best.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, right. We never had a fight. I wasn't frightened of him, but I'd acquiesced to that.
Right.
Yeah, right. That. He was a bit quicker than me, a bit stronger than me. Yeah, right. But he weren't as violent as me. Yeah. But he was always trying to pull him into that crew.
Right.
Yeah, right. Break up my crew, so he had the one crew. That was always his game. Always poison in Andrew's ear.
And by the way, just for people that, just to recap, Curtis was a drug dealer who you guys met.
We're all from the same area.
Right. And then Andrew was your partner.
Two of Liverpool's most infamous sons, two of the most well-known sons in Liverpool. One is Stephen French and one is Curtis Warren.
Okay.
And we both went to the same school.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Wow.
If it wasn't true, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, he was 2 years below me. Anyway, so.
By the way, was that gentleman, was he killed, the guy who set you up, the banker?
No. I got charged with his murder. I got charged with attempted murder against him.
Okay, but he didn't actually die. Interesting.
Let me. Okay. No, he lived. He's still alive. Yeah, right. So this is what happened. Let me finish the story because it's a good story. So my reputation is now ruined. Yeah, I've got the reputation of I'll rob anybody. I'm just a wild dog and I don't care and I've got no morals and I've got no scruples and you rob his own. So, and then Andrew's wavering with me, yeah, right? So I go to London on a blackmail job. I'm blackmailing somebody in London. I go to London, to pick up, I think it was £10,000 blackmail money I was going to pick up. We've been blackmailing somebody. I went to pick up the money. When I get to Euston, the McDonald's guy, the brush sweeper, they're all coppers. And they jump on me and I'm arrested. And I'm in Wormwood Scrubs. It's now 1991. Yeah, I'm in Wormwood Scrubs. I'm charged with blackmail. Yeah.
Who are you blackmailing?
And
how?
an African chief. That's all I'm prepared to say about that.
Okay. Is it pretty deep? Is it wild?
It's still live and there's a guy sitting in jail now, charged with Tupac's murder because he said too much on a podcast. You understand?
Right.
Yeah, right. So it was an attempted blackmail. It's got nothing to do with the story.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I was in jail.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in jail. That time in jail, yeah, right. There was no toilets. It was called slop house. You have to urinate and piss in. You have to defecate and urinate in a bucket. And at 7:30 in the morning, you slop house and you go and wash it down the thing, yo. Nasty stuff. Anyway, I'm on the fours in Wormwood Scrubs. There's some lads from County Farm over the side, and they say to me, have you listened on the radio? Have you listened on the radio? Have you listened on the radio? I say, no. They say, somebody from your end's been murdered. I'll go back and I put the radio on, and I'm hoping it's one of my enemies. And it comes through, karate champion Andrew John shot dead, talk stiff. It's my brother. I'm in a two-man cell with one of the Adamses family. One of the Adamses family are a top crime family from London. I'm in with one of their nephews. I said to him, that's my brother. He says, stop messing about, Scout. Stop messing about. I said, I'm telling you, that's my brother. At that time, the door goes. It's the wing governor. It's the Catholic priest. And it's the doctor. The wing governor's there because he has to be. The Catholic priest is there to tell my brother's dead. Yeah. And the doctor's there to give me the liquid kosh. Like Actol they used to give you. Because I was a handful in prison too. Yeah, right. So the wing governor tells me, are you going to behave yourself or are you getting the jab? Yeah, right now. I don't know whether you know about like Actol. Yeah.
No. So they would inject people against their will? Was it like barbiturates or something?
You sit there drooling.
Wow. So it's like some one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Now, do you know what that is? Is that like barbiturates or what kind of Valium?
We called it. It's called Ligactol.
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 Okay.
It's a drug, yeah. And we called it the liquid kosh. Because it was liquid and it's like you're being koshed.
Wow.
Yeah, right. And it was used on violent prisoners.
Right.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So Ricky, the guy from the house, yeah, has killed Andrew. Transpires that Andrew went to him and said to him, what kind of gangster are you? Stephen whacked you with the bat. Instead of dealing with him yourself, you're telling him, if you don't give me $2,000, I'm going to the police. Yeah. I started to pressure Ricky. Ricky paid him. Yeah, right. Ricky wrote to me in jail and said, Stephen, we had an arrangement. Your brother's now pressuring me. Yeah, right. But I'd fell out with Andrew now. Yeah, because he started listening to Curtis. Andrew's asking that he wants to come and see me. Yeah, I don't want to see him. Yeah, right. When he died, all that just dissipated. Yeah, right. And I was brokenhearted. Yeah, I'd been very quiet in the jail because I knew I was getting out the blackmail. I hadn't been causing no problems. I just knew that I had to wait for the case. Yeah, the witnesses wouldn't turn up, and I'd be out. Yeah. So I cut a sock down. And I made a black armband for myself. And there'd been a mixed race lad there. And he'd been riding me. He'd been riding me since I'd been in the jail. And he thought, because I hadn't answered him back, that I was stupid. So when he seen me and he seen the black armband on me, he said to me, what are you doing with that for? And tried to make fun of me. I grabbed him by his both legs and threw him over the landing.
Oh.
Yeah, right. There's nets on the landing. He broke his both arms. Yeah, right. But he didn't snitch. Yeah, right. That was in Wormwood Scrubs.
What was the point of wearing that black armband?
I was in mourning. I was in mourning for my brother. It was a mark of respect. He was dead, and it'd been on the radio. Yeah, right. I was locked up in jail. Yeah, right. If I'd have been with him, yeah, that wouldn't have happened to him. Right. If I'd have been there, yeah, right, it would have had to blast the two of us, or it wouldn't have happened. He He worked with me for 10 years. He stopped working with me and he lasted 6 months and was dead.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, right? And the people that pulled him away from me and chatted to him, yeah, right. When he died, they didn't even pay to bury him. I had to come out and buy his headstone. The big headstone, your viewers will see it on the TV. Yeah, it cost me £10,000, the headstone. Yeah. Anyway,
Why was he murdered though? He was murdered.
This is the point I'm coming to. Yeah, this is the point. So he's gone to Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and said to Ricky, I took the money back off Ricky. Now there's a golden rule to taxing people, and the golden rule is, if I rob you, Johnny, I'll only rob you once. I'll never rob you twice, because if I rob you twice, then you're going to think, every time this guy's got no money, he's going to be coming to me and doing me something. And Andrew went back to him twice. Yeah. And then Ricky's dad was an old Jamaican called Mr. Gaynor. And Mr. Gaynor said, yeah, in Jamaica, yeah, kill that boy, you see. So he did. He shot him 5 times in the back with a Webley. Now, the interesting thing is, there was somebody with me when I broke into the house. And I put Ricky on the floor. Yeah, right. It wasn't Andrew. Yeah, it wasn't Majid. And who it was, I'll take with it to my grave. Yeah, right. But Ricky made a defense that it was me and Andrew, yeah, right, that broke into his house. And he had medical records that had his face smashed. And he ended up getting 3 years for manslaughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and walked out. He's dead now.
That's it. That's crazy.
He's dead now.
Was he murdered?
He died in a fight. All right. So,
so you were heartbroken. You were changed, it sounds like, after the death of your brother.
These were the writings on the wall for me. Yeah, these are the writings on the wall. And I'm coming to it. So I'm just finishing that piece off. So Ricky now does his 3 years and he's out. He's at a party. He's skating around. He's got to skate around because everybody's looking for him. And he's at a party. And a girlfriend of mine called Sophie's at the party. Yeah, right. And he tells her this story. Yeah, right. Majid, the banker, come to my house and he's banging on my door. Yeah, this is after he's been chopped and cut. I've opened the door and I said, what do you want? And he goes, you did know it was Ricky. You did know it was Ricky. I told you. I said, you didn't tell me it was Ricky. You told me it was Sean. I'd never robbed Ricky. Yeah, right. Ricky was our driver. Ricky got me out of certain instances. Yeah, right. I later found out Ricky was in the bushes with the gun that he killed our kid with, trained on me. Yeah, right. And he was there to kill me. But everything I was saying married up in his head. I waited 4 hours for him. I put him on the floor. I tried to run out. I was only there 30 seconds. If I was there to rob him and I knew it was Ricky, he'd have got robbed. Yeah. He'd have got robbed. Yeah. I would have smashed him until he wasn't moving and he'd have got robbed, but I ran out and he lowered the weapon. He lowered the weapon. I only found that out retrospectively. Wow. Here's the interesting part. He had a Webley .445 revolver. The Webley revolver is what the British Army established this empire with. It's the same gun that in the 1960s Battle of the Somme, where the British Tommies have to go over the top, boys. It's the same gun that they fire. It's a gun that they use to shoot horses. Yeah, the bullets are like that.
Holy.
Yeah, right. He had no bullets for it. He had no bullets for the gun. Yeah, right. And my enemies, the ones that were trying to get Andrew away from me, gave him the bullets to kill him. Yeah, but he loaded the gun on me. And a few months later, because Andrew went to him 3 times, the bullets ended up in Andrew. Yeah. And that's the kernel story to a movie that I'm going to have made about my life.
It's incredible. That bullet was meant for you.
Yeah, well, it did. Well, it did. I'm still here. Yeah, right.
So this is 1991 when you get arrested for blackmail. Andrew gets killed. What happened between 91 and 2005 when you decided to write your book? Did you get out of the game?
I'm in Wynwood Scrubs. Yeah. I go for Judge in Chambers bail. Yeah. I was married to a pop star's daughter. The real thing.
Spice Girls?
No, real thing. You to me are everything, the sweetest song that I can sing. Oh, baby. I was married to his eldest daughter. He put up £100,000 bail for me. I get out. I see the little cross that they've got on my brother's grave. And I sort that out. Buy him that. My wife falls pregnant. 94, I have my first daughter, and I'm reading the writing on the wall. Yeah. My future is threefold. I'm either going to be murdered, I'm going to murder somebody, and be lifed off, or I'm going to be mega rich. Yeah, right? If I don't make some changes in my life. Yeah. Now, crack, it kicked in. Yeah, you're right. And now, because how would a 10-stone drug dealer, 10.5-stone drug dealer, stop fear against a guy like me? Yeah. I'm 6'3", a martial arts champion. I weigh 225 pounds. Yeah, right. And I'm double dangerous. How's he going to stop me? They had to get an equalizer.
Right.
And that's what happened. I take part, I'm partially responsible for the explosion of firearms on Merseyside because they had to start protecting themselves from jackers.
Right.
And it's an instant equalizer.
Yeah.
If you ever had a point of gun on you, the whole battle looks like that. It just goes big.
It's wild,
And you just got to keep still and hope that the person at this range doesn't plug you. That's all you can do. Yeah. Never mind all these fancy tricks and I'll do this and I'll do that. It's called what did he call it? A Mexican standoff when they both got guns. But anyway, so
to protect these drug dealers from guys like yourself, ironically,
they armed themselves.
And you started supplying their guns?
No.
Or you just your lifestyle created the violence that
No. So there's a story in the book called the Red Cavalier. Yeah, right. And the Red Cavalier. So now I decide that I want to go to work. Yeah, I don't want to go to work here, right? Now, I'm a security professional, yeah, right? I've worked in the security industry a long time, yeah, right? So I meet a guy called Christian. We open up a security firm, yeah, Crime yeah. At its height, that went from 94, and I sold it in 2005. Yeah. We had 500 men working for us.
Wow.
Our turnover was 5 million. Our profit was 20%. I had all the car showrooms in Liverpool. I had a lot of the industrial estates. I had blue chip clients like Allied London. Wow. Yeah. And I was also known as the buster. Yeah, right. Where I would get off sites. And they pay me a fortune for
wow. And this is a totally legitimate firm. There's no street money being run through it.
Wait. So now, yeah, right. Here's the interesting part. So in commercial debt recoveries, yeah, I'm not collecting money off old ladies that haven't paid the rent. Yeah, right. You've got company A. You're dealing in computers. Yeah. Your company A, you buy £30,000 worth of computers off the computer guy. Yeah, right. You close that company down. You open up another company. You've got all this stock, but you're not going to pay him.
Right.
Yeah, right. This is the niche I found for myself in commercial debt recoveries. Yeah, right. Now, have you seen The Equalizer?
Yeah.
I notice I always play with a handkerchief. So does he. My name was the problem solver extraordinaire. I actually worked as an equalizer. Yeah.
So how do you recover that debt legally in this kind of white collar rip-off situation?
So this is, I'll give it for example. I was very moral about what I did. Yeah, right. And I used to help small businessmen against big businessmen that used to like to small businessmen. Yeah. And I always needed the paperwork. Yeah, right. Because there's a very thin line, Jonathan, between demanding money with menaces, which is illegal, yeah, and enforcing a legitimate demand.
Right.
I enforced a legitimate demand. Yeah, right. Now, one of the people that I was doing a debt recovery on, a commercial debt recovery on, I worked as a recovery technician. I even give it its own name, recovery technician. It's just a fancy name for a debt collector. He set the police onto me. Because they always call the police. You've got to be licensed to get the police onto you, right? And we end up in court, and the judge says to me, Mr. French, I know what you're doing. You're using psychological intimidation. Unfortunately for the people that have brought you to court, that isn't an offense. Yeah? So I'm going to have to let you go. Because if I say to you, Johnny, you owe me 50 grand, and if you don't pay me the 50 grand, I'm going to break both your legs. You can then, and you record me, you can then go to the police and tell the police and do what you want. Yeah, right?
That's menacing, I think.
Right. But if I put a copy of my book on the table, and I say, you should have read that, and then pay what you owe. Yeah, and then also my phenotypical appearance, I actually look like a gangster, and I know I do. You understand? And I can muster intimidation if I really need to. Yeah, I can become cold, detached. Yeah, and without threatening you. Have you watched Enter the Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So Bruce Lee's on the boat, and he's with the New Zealand guys, and he says, "Let me teach you the art of fighting without fighting." He says, "The art of fighting without fighting? How's that?" And he tricks him and he gets him on the boat, and he just has the thing go, "Yeah, well, I had the art of intimidating without intimidating. Yeah, I could be very intimidating without breaking the law."
Right.
Yeah, right. And I found a niche for myself.
And you're successful, obviously.
I worked at 20%, no recovery, no fee.
Wow.
Yeah. If you wanted to jump the queue, you could jump the queue, but you had to pay me £500 a day for that. You paid me expenses for $500, and I had work coming out of my ears. I was in the money part of Liverpool, Water Street, Il Palazzo. I had executive officers, 20 phones going, 30 staff, and I couldn't keep pace of the work.
Unbelievable. And you're completely legit now. There's no street activity?
So
yes or no?
No.
You were not completely legit.
No. I am. Listen. It's difficult, right? Because you have to defend yourself. You understand, right? So, 2005, I sell a security firm. Yeah. I sell a security firm.
Was it a nice exit?
Yeah, it was. So I sold the contracts. I sold the contracts for £250,000. Yeah, all right. Which was a company I built from nothing, and I was working for Jarvis Rail. Yeah, I had say about £4 million on the ledger that was owed to me. Yeah, right. About £1 million worth of crown debt, which is VAT. But my main clients was Jarvis Rail, and they went pop. So when they went pop, yeah, right, my company became insolvent, but my contracts were still alive. Yeah, so to avoid the crown debt, yeah, I closed the company down. I sold the contracts. Yeah, which was a shrewd business move given to me by my Jewish accountant. Anyway, and this is when I started looking at an American green card. Yeah, buy an American green card, go and live in a gated community in America, run a Taco Bell's, and I could. And it was just after 9/11, and the property in it. It was early 2000s, and the property in America, especially in places like Miami and
DC,
Disney World. Yeah, right. I want to go there.
Orlando.
The money, what you could get in America, for $500,000 would land.
You get a whole estate,
would land. It was incredible because I looked into it all. My family didn't want to go. Yeah, and then I decided I was going to give something back. So in 2005, I opened up the Kazuna Increase the Peace program. Yeah, and I became a serious anti-gun campaign. And the reason why I became an anti-gun campaigner is my brother, Andrew John, shot dead. My son, Stephen, shot twice in a year. The second time his girlfriend was with him, she was shot as well.
Oh, no.
My nephew, Grantley, shot in the head with a 9mm, lost the use of his left eye. Yeah. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, and I've been firebombed. And my story, in terms of British-born blacks, isn't unique. That was our lot. Yeah. An endangered species was a black male under 25. I'd go to different cities and I'd walk up to a young black lad and I'd say to him, I'm really sorry to hear about your mate getting killed. I'd say, how do you know about my mates? I said, because we've all got one. Yeah. And I wanted to do something about, it started off about the black on black killing. Yeah, right. Because I've always been a black activist. Yeah. I've always been politically black. Yeah. Being born in a racist city, you have to be that way. So I went to work in earnest as an anti-gun campaigner from 2005 to 2008, and I did some sterling work. Yeah, you're right. One of the jobs I did, yeah, right. There's two crews in Manchester. Yeah, one is called Gooch. The gang's called Gooch.
Gooch?
Gooch. Your viewers can look them up. And the one's called the Hillbillies, from Cheetham Hill. Yeah. And in a 20-year period, there's been about 20 deaths, 20 killings. Yeah, right? So one young man was murdered, shot dead. Yeah, right? And they were burying him. And the killers turned up at the funeral and killed another one at the funeral. A bit like the scene in Michael K. Williams' The Wire when the granny's hat got shot off. Yeah, right. I've met him. So anyway, Omar and Frenchie, somebody made a song about us. Anyway, so I had officers in Warrington. I had killers, and and a family doing life from Cheetham on my left hand side. Killers, right, from Gooch, and people doing life on my right-hand side. I'm in the middle, and I'm not talking about peace. We can't talk about peace, but I brokered, me personally, Stephen French brokered that all soldiers can be buried in peace. No more shooting at the funerals. This is the type of work that I was doing.
All right.
I was working in the deep end. Yeah, right. But at the same time, because I was working with the authorities and I was doing what I was doing, I got labeled as a police informer. I got labeled as a snitch. Yeah, right. But I've never snitched on anybody. I'm not a police informer. And it's just lots of jealousy and envy. But if my son's coming through, my son's trying to do the same stuff as I was doing. He ends up getting shot. And the young guys that are his enemy, right, they know if they want to do something to Stephen, they've got to do something to me. So this is for you. This is a receipt for your viewers. If you type into your search engine, Young Gunmen, Panorama, BBC programme, 2008, you'll see the shots that were fired at me. You'll see when people tried to kill me in 2008. If you watch Danny Dyer's Deadliest Men, episode 1, season 1, that's about me. Yeah, right? And you'll see a young man standing on the wall from my community. And he says, Stephen French can't come round here anymore. He might have been feared in the day, but Stephen French can't come round here anymore. Stephen French is a grass. Yeah, right? He's the young man that shot at me. They're the photographs in 2008. Here's the interesting part about that. Yeah, because I hate snitches and I hate police informers. When I was 17, somebody tried to kill me for the first time. Now, if you look at my hands, You see my left hand. You see how my fingers don't come up.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wow.
They tried to stab me in the neck. I got my hand up. The blade went straight through my hand, and it cut my 3 sinews.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you have no...
No, they won't come up.
Right.
I've got no... And the sold and they're not there. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The police came to see me. Yeah. And they said to me, it was a family member. Yeah, the police came to see me, and he said, we know who's done it. You got to do this. You got to do that.
Yeah.
And you'll get a fortune in criminal compensation. I said, I was mugged by skinheads. No, Stephen, I was mugged by skinheads, and I didn't snitch. Now, the same young man that's standing on that wall and said that Stephen French is a grass, when he was 17, he gave evidence in a murder trial. He made a statement. He stood in the dock, and he pointed the man out from the dock. I've got grasses calling me a grass.
Yeah.
You understand? Now,
That's kind of how the game is now.
Listen,
unfortunately.
but the beauty of it is, yeah, right. You can go to the courthouse and see his papers and see his statements. There's no statements with me. It's just foundless, groundless accusations.
Okay. So that's why, I mean, for the American audience, they can go look that up. I still don't understand, though. I'm asking you a question. While you were running the security company, my father's a lawyer, so I'm getting very lawyer on you.
It's okay.
Were you out of the game after you went legit and founded this very successful security company, or were you still running illegal money through the business?
No, I was.
And if you can't answer, that's okay. But
listen.
Tell us.
Listen. So, I had more money than God. You understand? Yeah, I didn't have to do anything illegal. Yeah, right. But I had to defend myself. Yeah, right. Now, my philosophy was this. This is my philosophy. I have the right to defend myself and my family and my business by any means necessary. And that included murder. You f*** about with me, I'll kill you. You understand? Yeah, you go too far with me and I'll take your life. And I'm also trying to do this anti-gun stuff, and it's a tightrope walk. Yeah, it's a tightrope walk between legitimate businessman, ex-gangster, and anti-gun campaigner. Yeah, and I'm on. Yeah, and then I pipped, and you've got to remember now. Yeah, at 2005, I want to go and live in America. I want to buy a green card. I'm in Paradise Island in the Maldives, and I decide to write the book, do a documentary, make a movie, yeah, right? And the movie, the money I get from the movie, I'll build the Andrew John Memorial Skills Centre. Andrew John is my brother that died. The Skills Centre will teach our young men a vocational skill so that they can provide for themselves and their families without being involved in drugs, guns, violence, or becoming pistoleros. Because the game, as we call it, turns out to be a mug's game. It's a game of death. Yeah, and it lands 2 places. Yeah, in a box in the ground or in a box inside a box in a jail. That's where it leads. It took me a long time to realize that. Yeah, right. Now I'm walking this tightrope. Yeah, right.
Well, where can they get that book? We're going to switch over to Patreon now, and we can talk about how that resulted in you eventually going to prison.
The copy.
What's that? Yes, please.
You give me an email. I'll email you. I'll email you the copy.
But where can folks? This has been absolutely riveting. Where can
Amazon?
Okay, and the name of the book again is
The Devil, Britain's Most Feared Underworld Taxman.
And don't you have another one as well?
That one hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's written, and I'm that's The Devil Decoded. Yeah, but that's not getting released until my mum dies.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a man with an agenda. I'm a man with a mission. That's why I'm doing these podcasts. Now. So now, I've got punks. What I call punks come firing shots.
Okay, let's we're gonna switch over now because we've been going long. This is the second part that I want. This is what people got to pay for. Is this post-log story? But I think we got your journey out of the underworld. I think that's what I'm hearing is that you were caught up in that sent you to prison. Am I wrong? It doesn't sound like you were in the streets. You weren't robbing drug crews.
No.
That's what I was trying to get to the bottom of.
No.
Yeah, you clearly weren't. And the fact that I think you are exceptional. You know, you say I'm no different than anybody that grew up on the south end of Liverpool, but maybe your circumstances weren't, but you certainly ended up much different than, not a lot of people are talking about buying Taco Bell's franchises in America that are from the south of Liverpool.
Buying an American green card.
Yeah.
So, no, but see, the reason why I didn't buy the American green card, right, is my daughter, was in with a good group of friends. She was being privately educated, right. She's not long finished university, right. I was still married at that time, and I'm one of the most robust men that you'll ever meet. My capacity to cope, right, is phenomenal, even if I say so myself, right. But then, what happened was, I knew that I would get some flack for the work that I was doing, but I didn't know that it would leak out to my family. And I went to see Floyd Mayweather versus Ricky Hatton in Las Vegas. And I'd been on the TV now. And this is when I realized the power of TV. Because in Las Vegas, when that fight was on, you've got people from all over the UK. London, Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, all over. I couldn't walk 10 yards without getting stopped and asked for a photograph because I'd been on TV. My friend said to me, "Frenchie, you'd like a celebrity?" And I said, "No, man, no. With that, two of the most prevalent emotions in humankind are two of the most basic: envy and jealousy. It's followed me everywhere. Envy and jealousy, And then I've got new crews. I'm not even involved. My son's involved, right? He's being shot. They think they've got to do something to me also, right? So when they fire the shots at me, right, and they're saying that I can't come round here, there's actually 13 of them on the corner. I'm driving up the road. Instead of just taking aim at me, I'm just popping into the car and killing me. He's running away. He's running away, firing over the shoulder. And that's why if you look on the camera, you'll see the trajectory of the bullets are right up in the ceiling of the woman. Right? Because
not very good shots.
He's not a good. No. They were running. They were running from me. And the points I'm making, right, is I don't fear nobody. Still now to this day. If I've got to die a violent death, I've got to die a violent death. But I believe that I have a destiny to fulfill, and I'm trying to fulfill that destiny. Right. And this is bringing us up to the current time. So I'm working the deck recoveries.
Okay, we're gonna wrap. We're gonna wrap. Well, we're gonna be over. We're gonna switch over now to Patreon. Stephen French, one more time. The Devil. What's the name of your book?
The Devil, Britain's Most Feared Underworld Taxman.
That was
2007. It was released.
That was an absolute Hall of Fame episode. I'm amazed that I get to meet guys like you. So that was. Are you on social media?
Yeah.
Stephen French?
Just Stephen French. You type me in and everything comes up.
It's true.
All you got to do. Stephen French, Liverpool.
Okay.
And then you get everything.
And he's all over YouTube and everything like that.
Everything you get everything you need.
Patreon.com/TheConnect Show to find out the epilogue to Stephen's story. Thank you, Mr. French. That was unreal.